Hallelujah. Thank you. Hallelujah. 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 The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When the Magi had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Rise, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. For Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him." And he rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what the Lord has spoken by the prophets. "Out of Egypt I called my son." But when Herod died, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, "Rise, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel. For those who sought the child's life are dead." And he rose and took the child and his mother and went to the land of Israel. And when he heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there, and being warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee. And he went and lived in a city called Nazareth, so that what was spoken by the prophets might be fulfilled, that he would be called a Nazarene. The Gospel of the Lord. An angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Rise, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you." Words we heard this morning from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 2, 13 to 23. As I mentioned at the beginning of Mass, today we are celebrating the feast of the Holy Family, the family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, which is presented to us as an ideal family, a model, an inspiration. And we must ask, why is the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph presented as an ideal family for all Christian families? Before we answer this question, perhaps, may we look into our different families and ask ourselves some hard questions. Perhaps I might begin by asking you, how are you and how is your family? I know, given chance to respond, you will say, "I am fine. My family is fine." That is the usual automatic response, very conventional and polite. But I mean, how is your family really? How can we describe the state of our different families in an honest appraisal? Is my family okay? Perfect? Peaceful? United? Happy? Or struggling? Broken? Fragmented? A little bit of toxic? Or are we united? What about the relationship among the members of my family? What about communication? Can my family members gather together for family dinner without any of us feeling unease? Is there a member of my family, although he is physically present in the family, but is emotionally disconnected from the rest of the family members? The truth must be acknowledged that there is no perfect family, and there can never be a perfect family. If you're expecting yours to be a perfect family, don't worry about it, because it's not possible. In as much as family is made up of human beings with all our imperfections and personality differences, there can never be a perfect family. The Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph is presented to us as a model of Christian families. Not because it was perfect, or free of struggles and challenges. No, it's presented to us to show us how to faithfully live together as a family in the midst of ordinary and extraordinary challenges of life. How to find God in those challenges and how to respond. The Holy Family indeed had their own ups and downs. They had their challenges. They had their difficulties. They experienced poverty, loneliness, at a point, homelessness. They lived at a certain point under tension, under fear, under threat. In today's gospel, for example, they experienced displacement and even went on exile. Even the presence of Jesus as a member of the family did not protect the family from experiencing those challenges or even serve as immunity. Meaning, therefore, that even with the presence of God in our families or even with our faith, these challenges are not removed. Rather, they help us to find meaning, direction, and perseverance in the midst of those challenges. One of the things that determines the peace and togetherness of a family is how a family responds to challenges that confront them as a family. Indeed, the way a family responds when they are going through trials or challenges is very important, because the first ever solution employed by human being to solve the first ever family problem was a disaster, as we learned from our Bible studies. We all know the story of Genesis, the story of Adam and Eve, what happened in the garden. When God came around and asked Adam, Adam, what is happening? What is happening in the garden? What is happening in your family? Adam said, it was the woman. She caused the whole problem. She was the one at fault. Blame game. Often when things go bad in the family, instead of the members of the family coming together to ask that fundamental question, how can we move forward together? Instead, they engage in accusing fingers, pointing accusing fingers, and dwell on that. That's why often you hear people say, oh, this family was doing so well until John started drinking. Yeah, that could be the problem, but is that the way forward? As siblings, we were together, doing things together, until Mary started going out with that her friend. That could be the problem, but is that the solution? You know, when blame game enters into a family, the family ceases to function as a team. It begins to operate as a courtroom. The accused versus the accusers. Me versus them. We versus them. And this creates camps. Then small problems will grow into lasting resentment and anger. It then creates mutual suspicion, emotional distance, and their hearts are hardened, making it impossible for peace, reconciliation, and joy. Children who are raised in that kind of situation, setting of family, will learn how to lie as a habit. We learn how to blame others for their own mistakes as a strategy for survival. They will learn how to cover their mistakes. They will also learn how to avoid taking corrections. Now, going back to the Holy Family, the family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. When things become difficult for the family, Joseph could have blamed Mary for what was happening in the family. He could have said to her, "Woman, you have ruined my future. Why should I be suffering for the decision you took with an angel without getting me involved? When the angel came to you to ask to make this proposal, you could have said, 'Let me go and speak with my husband.' Now you have made the decision and we are in this mess. This is all your fault. It was the decision you made. This is all your mistake." He could have said that. And if he did, the blame would have exonerated him, preserved his name, and also his integrity and reputation. But he didn't say that. He didn't play the blame game. Why? Because he understood what family is all about. He must have said to himself, when problems came up at different times, let's deal with this together. This is our mess. Nobody is quitting. We are going to handle it together as a family. If it means going to Egypt, let's take the child and go to Egypt. I will leave my native land. Perhaps I'll find a job there. But this is our family. This is our challenge. We are going to deal with it together as a family. Dear friends, family peace and togetherness, these values are not preserved by winning arguments in the family. They are not preserved by finding the defaulter or who did this or who is at fault. Most families break or break up, not necessarily because of the mistake made by one of the partners or one of the siblings, not necessarily. Families break up more because of how they responded to that mistake. I say it again. Most families break up not because of a mistake made by a member of the family, but how the members of the family responded to that mistake. So let's go back to our lead question and end with it. So I come back to you again and to myself too. How is your family? Is everything okay? Do you think that there's something can be done to make it better and to carry along more persons as much as you can? What can I do as a member of my own family to contribute, to protect, to safeguard the peace and togetherness of my family? Is there a member of my family that I have intentionally decided not to talk to again? Perhaps I might begin with a new year, a text message. "Hello, Nathaniel. Happy New Year. God bless you." Or is there someone who sent me, a member of my family who sent me a message and I decided to ignore it because we have not settled our conflicts? Or I have made a decision not to get in touch with them again? I could simply reply the message, "Thank you for reaching out. God bless you. We keep in touch." I think while saying this, I now remembered in my own case that there was a member of my family. Oh, this is online, but it's okay. There's a member of my family I intentionally excluded in my Christmas messages because we haven't finalized our little argument. Perhaps I will send him a message this afternoon. Not just Christmas, but also things that could take care of whatever that have been happening. How is your family? None is perfect, but we can work together if we can hold hands, looking forward, not asking who is to be blamed. This first family in human history, according to biblical tradition, fell apart because when the question came, what happened? The man pointed an accusing finger at the wife. If he had said, like Joseph, we made a mistake, we figured it out. But he said, it was the woman. Okay.